In the last video, we went ahead and downloaded the ISO file from Fedora project, and we downloaded the ISO file, and we used Nero 9 burning ROM to go ahead and make the ISO file. I'm going to insert the disk now, and we're going to use VMware Workstation, I should say, to test the CD. Actually, you know what? I'm actually going to use Virtualbox because to me it's more simpler. So we're just going to switch, and we're going to use Virtualbox for this. I'm going to make sure that the disk is being properly read. And the CD computer is processing the disk. Let's try to click that again. Okay, here we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to quickly go ahead and create a virtual machine. We're going to create a Linux virtual machine, and we're going to say Fedora. We're going to use the default amount of memory. We're going to create the disk. Dynamically expanding, we're going to make sure the disk is saved where it needs to be saved to, and we're going to call the disk the same as the operating system, Fedora 11. 8 gigs, the summary finished, and here we have the virtual machine. We have the disk inserted now. Okay, so we have the this is the disk that we burned. If I open it up, notice how the disk has all the components. Now, like I said in previous videos, if you just went ahead and just burned the ISO file as a file, what you would simply see here is just the ISO file. It wouldn't work. You have to have a disk utility program such as Nero or Roxo to burn an ISO file and burn all of its archived components for the operating system. So let's close this. I'm going to say start up, and we're going to make sure when we start it up, we have that capture, and upon starting it up, it brings up this window asking which method the operating system we like to install from. We're going to say CD, and we're going to make sure that we have the right media disk, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to say finished, and the virtual machine Virtualbox to start up. It's reading the disk, as we can see here. Now we're not going to install it, we just want to make sure that the disk is running, and we see it is. We have the Fedora operating system started up. This is coming off the CD that we downloaded the ISO file from, burned with Nero 9, and have inserted it, and is now running from the CD. Virtualbox is running Fedora off the disk. And it's going to go ahead and start up. It takes a little time, but this is the speed of the CD. We just want to make sure that everything is properly being done. Everything seems to be going really nice since we have the Fedora operating system booting up. And this is a great way to test out Linux operating systems too, because you can download them for free and run. Okay, we're back. I paused the video because the booting takes an awfully long time from the CD. So we're going to say log in. And this is the power of a live disk, you see. This also works with the ISO files. Most Linux distributions allow you to run the operating system without actually installing it on your hard disk. So kind of like a test drive of the operating system, which is nice. So everything looks to be going really nice. It is going slow because it's coming off the CD, and even when you're doing an ISO file, it will be this slow. But we just wanted to make sure that the CD that we burned with the image file has worked really nicely, and we see it did. I'm going to do another pause here so that this can get going up and we can see the actual desktop. Alright, that took a long time. So we have logged in and we have made it to the desktop, which, my gosh, almost took 10 minutes. But that's CDs and ISO files for you. It takes a lot of time to get this loaded up from scratch. So this is the live disk, and we see here that this is what the Fedora 11 operating system looks like. What's neat about a live CD Linux distribution is that we have here the ability to install the operating system on the hard disk. Now if we choose to install, this is going to install on the hard disk that we created using the Virtualbox. More on that in the next chapter. But we just want to make sure that everything is running nicely, and we see that the image that we burn is really nice. So we're going to kill this. I'm going to say power off. And now we're going to change the disk to load from the ISO file, so I can show you how you can allow the disk to the virtual machine to start up that way. So let's change the options here. What we want to do is we want to go to the CD. We're going to say mount, and we're going to say image, ISO image, and we're going to locate the image file that we burned, which should be somewhere in our downloads folder. Let's go ahead and find what that is. So we'll select it, and we have the ISO file here. Select, and now when we start the virtual machine, it's gonna load the operating system from the ISO file that we downloaded instead of the CD. Note that once you install the Linux operating system, or whatever operating system you install, once you restart after the installation, it won't use the ISO file because it'll be installing from the hard disk. So you won't have to go ahead and change that. So I'm going to start up. And there you go. We're loading the operating system from the ISO file. And very simple and nice and easy to do, burning ISO files and running them in a virtual machine environment. So that's it for this video. We just wanted to test run our burned ISO file, test it out, and run our ISO file. In the next video, we'll be looking at burning ISO files using disk utility in Mac.